this one.
You don't want to hide. The mummy case is sealed.
Okay, we're good. There's the killer. He's coming for us.
You hear the sound of someone breaking down a door in the next room.
It's all good. I've done this so many times, I shouldn't screw it up. I really hope I don't, because I don't have a save spot. Okay. And we're going to use this. So far, so good. Okay, that's going back up. I'm gonna go ahead and use this.
The snake
Oh, come on. No! Oh, gosh. I shouldn't have closed the door. No! Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. The door. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get this done the right way.
With a little more effort, you'll be the
best.
best investigative reporter Tulane ever graduated.
Yeah. Okay, nope, can't save it. So we gotta just go. Gotta do this all the right way. Okay. Close that. Grab that. Lock that. Go. Go. Come on, we can do this. Close that. Lock that. And go. Move that over. Open that. Go. And hide in this one. Alright, I think we're doing a little better this time.
You hear the sound of someone breaking down a door in the next room.
Okay, here we go. That's fine. That's him breaking down that one door. So remember, do not waste time closing that door. Okay, we gotta push that over there. Okay. We're gonna save right here. Don't screw it up. Okay. Need the cutters. Okay, here we go. We got this. We got this. And if we don't, we got a save file this time. Okay, don't worry about the door. The door is just waste of time. So we're going to take this. We're going to use it on that. Open that. And go. What? What? Oh my god, no. No. What did I do wrong? I don't get it. Oh my god, let me... Okay, there's a mummy down here that I can use to block this door.
You pick it.
And we're going to use that.
While this...
Okay, that buys us a little bit more time.
This...
Alright, we got it done.
You
We
hear
got...
ominous chanting as you encounter a strange ceremony. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, I was looking for the women's lounge.
You're coming with us, young lady.
I think you're making a mistake.
You've seen too much. We can't let you go.
Not to worry. I won't remember seeing this room, or you, or anything. Really. I've got a terrible memory. Can't even remember my own name half the time.
I'm sorry you found us. Our cult of Amon-Ra must remain a secret. There is too much at stake here. Too many important people are involved.
Cult of Amon-Ra? In the museum basement?
This room is a forgotten part of the original museum. We are safe here, as long as no outsiders are aware of our existence.
Oh, well, my lips are sealed. If you want to dance and sing and have little meetings down here, that's your business.
You cannot be trusted, Miss Bow. You're a newspaper reporter. We could be a featured article on page 1 of tomorrow's newspaper if we let you go.
But people are going to miss me. They'll search the museum.
The police will never find this room or your body.
Oh, no.
You don't really plan to kill me, do you?
Of course not.
What a relief.
Kill is such an ugly word. Actually, we're going to sacrifice you to Amon-Ra.
Can we talk about this?
There is nothing to discuss. You should be proud to die in such an honorable fashion. Young Egyptian maidens used to fight for the privilege of being sacrificed to the great Amon-Ra.
Now, wait a minute. I thought the ancient Egyptians didn't make human sacrifices.
You're familiar with the history of ancient Egypt, Miss Bow?
Well, I've learned a few things.
Perhaps we could test you.
Do I have any other options?
We can test you or sacrifice you. It's your choice.
I'm liking this idea more and more. What kind of a test is it?
Amon-Ra may choose to intervene on your behalf. It is our tradition that we must let you live if you can answer Amon-Ra's riddle.
Great.
Of course, you'll have to answer the riddle with hieroglyphics.
I was afraid it would be something like that. Okay. What's the riddle?
That's why we looked at the rose
Actually,
stones.
it's a two-part riddle. What is the room you leave without entering?
Okay, a room you leave without entering. I already know these. Technically, you really never enter there. You're created in the womb, and you leave it. So you leave it without actually entering. Huh. Just kind of skipped over.
Very impressive. You're the first person who ever answered that riddle correctly. The wise Amon-Ra apparently wants us to spare your life. Will you swear to keep our location a secret?
Of course.
Then you may leave. May the great Amon-Ra guide your footsteps.
Thank you. Now I just have to outrun the person who's been chasing me.
Who is chasing you? Do you think they'll find their way in here?
I'm not sure who it is, but I believe it's the same person who stole the Dagger of Amon Ra from its display case. And I'm sure they'll find their way in here.
If that is true, they will not leave this room alive. I suggest you leave through our secret escape route behind the altar. Go now, and remember your promise.
Alright, so right here we can save it because we can really screw something up here. So I'm going to make sure, as always, save a lot. Okay.
Steve, being the large, unconscious type stevedore he is immovable in his while this there's an unconscious man. It's Jet. It appears to be a tall Caucasian. While this the stone resists Steve. While this
Oh, my head. What happened? Laura?
Yes, Steve. I was so worried about you. Are you all right?
I think so. I remember hearing somebody coming up behind me, and as I turned around, somebody slugged me. Cripes, my head hurts.
They must have dumped you down the coal chute. Let me see where you were hit.
I'm all right. Don't touch it.
Honestly, you men can be such crybabies. Do you think you can walk? We have to get out of here. Somebody's been murdering everybody in this museum, and whoever it is after me.
I can make it. I'm with you. Where do we go?
Good question. While this, it's too dark to. You hear the sound of gunfire from the direction of the furnace room.
Sounds like someone's chasing us, Laura.
You watch in relief as the last of the rats scurries out of sight.
Got him. Okay, so now we're at the coroner's inquest. This is where we're gonna put all of our stuff together.
An impressive showing for your first day on the job.
What? And I'm going to do a couple different endings here.
Thank you for coming to this inquest, Miss Bow. As the coroner on this case, I'm going to informally question you and study the evidence you've collected. If you assist me in developing a case, the perpetrators will be tried in the formal court of law. We're primarily concerned with the museum murders, but we're also interested in the theft of the Dagger of Amon and other matters that may have a bearing on this case. My examination of the corpses has been fruitful, but I need more evidence to build a case. Any information you can give us would help, but you must justify your conclusions with the evidence you've acquired. False accusations and unsupported conclusions will not be tolerated. Although I don't wish to pressure you, your employer is also here to judge your performance on this investigation. Since this is an informal proceeding, I've allowed it on the basis that your newspaper will cooperate with our wishes. Now, to the questions. Who murdered Dr. Pippin Carter?
Okay, so from this point on, since I just got that save file created, we can make all our choices. I've got all the right answers in front of me. But we're going to make all the wrong choices here, okay? So I'm just gonna...
Who murdered Miss Bow? Please remember in the future that you're a reporter, not a detective. By interfering at crime scenes, you make it much more difficult for the police to do their jobs. Not only are your conclusions based on unfounded guesswork, you don't even have any evidence to back them up. By your presence at the murder scenes and your destruction of evidence, I'm tempted to conclude that you were the murderer. You neglected to thoroughly question all the suspects, and you missed important evidence at the crime scenes. Although you discovered the Dagger of Amon, you have not arrived at conclusions about the theft that make any sense to me. I believe the theft involved two people, one of whom must have been on the museum staff. Because of you, a murderer is running loose in this city, free to kill again. I hope you're proud of yourself, Miss Bow.
Whoops. It's fine. Well.
You had your chance and you blew it, Lorabo. This is what happens to interfering reporters.
Now we're gonna get all of them right, including the Egyptian.
An impressive showing for your first day on the job.
Thank you for coming to this inquest, Miss Bow. As the coroner on this case, I'm going to informally question you and study the evidence you've collected. If you assist me in developing a case, the perpetrators will be tried in the formal court of law. We're primarily concerned with the museum murders, but we're also interested in the theft of the Dagger of Amon and other matters that may have a bearing on this case. My examination of the corpses has been fruitful, but I need more evidence to build a case. Any information you can give us would help, but you must justify your conclusions with the evidence you've acquired. False accusations and unsupported conclusions will not be tolerated. Although I don't wish to pressure you, your employer is also here to judge your performance on this investigation. Since this is an informal proceeding, I've allowed it on the basis that your newspaper will cooperate with our wishes. Now, to the questions. Who murdered Dr. Pippin Carter?
Okay, so this one, along with a bunch of these, are going to be Detective Ryan Hanrahan O'Reilly, which we're just going to refer from this point forward as O'Reilly. And the reason for killing Dr. Pippin Carter was financial gain.
Who murdered Lawrence Ziggy Ziegfeld?
This was also O'Reilly, but this one was to cover another crime.
Who murdered Ernie Leach?
Again, O'Reilly, and to cover
Who
another
murdered Yvette Delacroix?
O'Reilly. So this one was out of jealousy.
Who murdered Countess Lavinia Waldorf Carleton?
And this was also O'Reilly to cover
Who was
another
the
crime.
skeleton found in the steamer trunk?
So in the steamer trunk was Carrington.
Who murdered Dr. Archibald Carrington?
That was Watney Little.
Who impersonated Dr. Archibald Carrington?
That was also,
Who murdered Watney Little?
and that was O'Reilly to cover
Who
another
actually stole the Dagger of Amon Ra from the Ancient Egypt exhibit?
that was Watney Little.
Who manipulated Watney Little into stealing the Dagger of Amon Ra?
That was O'Reilly.
Who was the woman involved in stealing paintings from the Old Masters Gallery?
That was Countess Walter.
Based on what we now know, your assumption is correct, Miss Bow. Good work. Who was the man involved in stealing paintings from the Old Masters Gallery?
That would be Watney
Based
Little.
on what we now know, your assumption is correct, Miss Bow. Good work. Who was the middleman who provided forged paintings for the Countess and sold the real ones for her?
That was Ziggy.
Based on what we now know, your assumption is correct, Miss Bow. Good work. Who is the high priest of the Amon-Ra sun worshippers?
That is... This is the one we're not supposed to answer correctly here, I think. Oh, wait. Yeah, so this is the one we want to put Dr. Patashapatet Smith. Ramses Najir is the bigger fellow. So we're going to say this one. And this is going to get another ending.
That accusation is false, Miss Bow. However, the high priest's identity is a carefully guarded secret, so your failure to identify him is nothing to be ashamed about. He was present at the museum party, but was rarely seen afterwards. One witness said he was spotted briefly in the office of Yvette Delacroix. Which museum employee runs a fencing operation as a sideline business?
And this one is Ernie Leach.
That assumption is correct. Mr. Leach was moonlighting with his own business as a fence installer. In fact, he put up a very nice fence around my house.
I have one final piece of evidence to present, Mr. Coroner. I have an eyewitness who would only feel safe to come forth if I established my case against Mr. O'Reilly. Now that I've done so, let me introduce Dr. Patah Sheptut Smith of the Cairo Museum.
Mr. Smith's testimony is safe with us.
Okay.
Many thanks. I was in the Egyptian ceremonial room, underneath the museum, when Detective O'Reilly killed two of my fellow sun worshippers. I saw with my own eyes how he gunned them down without mercy when they tried to stop him from chasing Miss Bow. However, we only managed to slow him down. His hood fell back briefly, revealing his evil face to us as he slaughtered our people. That son of a camel should not be allowed to run free upon the sands.
Will you testify in court to what you witnessed, Mr. Smith?
Happily, sir. My dead fellows expect their revenge, although Amon-Ra will certainly destroy O'Reilly's car when he journeys through the underworld.
I'm not qualified to give my opinion on Mr. O'Reilly's spirit in the next world, Mr. Smith, but I'm sure your testimony will help your dead friends sleep peacefully. Thank you for coming forth. I must admit that I'm impressed by your methods, Miss Bow. Not only have you identified the murderers of those unfortunate individuals, but you have also uncovered the skullduggery involving the Dagger of Amon-Ra. Our case is very strong now and prosecution can begin. The New York Police Department owes you a debt of gratitude for your assistance in apprehending these malefactors. I'm sure that a commendation of valor from the police department is in order. Thank you for your help.
We did it! Solves dagger theft.
It's all that lousy reporter's fault. Damned interfering Laura Bow. Thinks she can get away with squealing on me, does she? Well, she's got another thing coming. Do you hear me, Laura Bow? You'll pay for this. If it's the last thing I ever do!
Thank you for waiting, Laura.
I didn't mind, Steve.
Laura,
Yes?
would you mind... do you suppose... Laura, could you close your eyes? I have something for you.
Oh, I suppose so. Oh, Steve!
Do you like it?
Steve, how could you? How could you have stolen the dagger?
I didn't steal the dagger, Laura. I bought this copy for you at the museum gift shop. I thought you might like a memento of your big night at the Leyendecker Museum.
Oh, thank you, Steve. I'm so embarrassed.
You're beautiful when you blush. Laura,
Yes, Steve?
would you consider joining me for dinner this coming Saturday?
Well, I'm not sure if I don't know if I should really. Yes. Yes, I'd be delighted to join you for dinner.
Thank you, Laura. You've made me very happy.
Oh, Steve.
Oh, Laura.
Oh, Steve.
Such a happy ending.
Since his skeleton was so nicely cleaned by the domestic beetles, Dr. Carrington's bones will soon be hanging on display in the Leyendecker Museum. Yvette Delacroix died plastered. Her remarkably lifelike statue now lives on in the Old Masters Gallery of the Leyendecker Museum. Her memory lives on in the minds of all she touched. Her sculpture is attributed to Ryan O'Reilly, 1926. Pleased by your success at finding his Dagger of Amon-Ra and his murderer, Dr. Pippin Carter now rests in peace. Pippin Carter's body was transported to Egypt by his cousin and now occupies a place of archaeological honor in the Temple of Amon-Ra in the Valley of the Kings. Due to your success at recovering the Dagger of Amon-Ra and finding the murderer, Wolf Heimlich continued as Chief of Security at the Leyendecker Museum. 2 months later, he was married to Dr. Olympia Miklos. 2 years after they were married, Wolf and Olympia had a child they named Morgana Wolf Heimlich. Having died in the course of this story, Watney Little's life of crime came to an abrupt end. As he was not a nice man, nobody missed him. Due to your success at recovering the Dagger of Amon-Ra and finding the murderer, Dr. Olympia Miklos married Wolf Heimlich, who continued as Chief of Security at the Leyendecker Museum. 2 years after they were married, Wolf and Olympia had a child they named Morgana Wolf Heimlich. As fond as he was of the Leyendecker, Ernie Leach noted in his will that he wanted his body donated to the museum. His body now resides in numerous small jars of alcohol, which will be placed on display in the new Hall of Internal Biology, adjacent to the Hall of Late Mammals. Dr. Patasheptut Tut Smith finally gave up on getting the Dagger of Amon-Ra returned to Egypt. However, once it completed its US and European museum tours, it was returned to the Cairo Museum anyway. So, several years later, Tut died a happy man, even though his death was the result of an Egyptian cobra bite. After losing his head in the museum, Ziggy found himself unable to continue his criminal career. His head has been preserved and is now on display in the Life Mask exhibit at the Leyendecker Museum. Ramses Najir continued his successful career as an accountant and as head of the secret Egyptian cult of Amon-Ra. With his strong high society ties, his accounting business made Ramses a millionaire in 15 years. Having died from a snake bite, the Countess Lavinia Waldorf Carlton did not live long enough to inherit any money from her last husband, Sterling. Thoroughly impressed by your success as a reporter, your editor, Sam Augustini, nominated you for a Pulitzer Prize and was present when you received your Citation of Valor from the police department. Sam retired 10 years later to become a gentleman cabbage farmer, fulfilling a secret lifelong dream. Pleased at your success, Crodfolity Rhubarb was happy to become your assistant at the New York Daily Register News Tribune. Henri Lamour, the coroner, continued his successful career studying dead bodies for the next 50 years, finally retiring in 1976 to tour with a rock band, the Ungrateful Dead. Low Fat continued in the laundry business, eventually opening a chain of low-fat Chinese laundries across the country and becoming a millionaire in the process. Former Detective Ryan Hanrahan O'Reilly was sentenced to 60 years in a state penitentiary. Having been a cop, O'Reilly found it hard to make friends in prison. After your successful completion of the museum assignment, you started dating Steve Dorian. Thrilled with your success, John Bow spent the rest of his life telling people what a wonderful daughter you were and how he had taught you everything you knew about criminology. After your recovery of the Dagger of Amon-Ra, it went back on display at the Leyendecker Museum. The large amount of press coverage drew many patrons to the museum to see the dagger. After 2 years on display at the Leyendecker, the Dagger exhibit continued on a tour of museums in the United States, Europe, and finally found its way back to the Cairo Museum in Egypt.
Okay, so those are the two endings. I know there's one where the Egypt or the worshippers of Amon-Ra, they come back and they kill you for ratting them out, but that's where you don't catch the murderer, but you do tell him or call him out. So anyways, this has been the Dagger of Amon-Ra, and I'm happy to have come back and completed both the endings for you guys, so you could actually see what that is after I kind of screwed everything up on stream. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't hear nothing right now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe and hit that bell icon and all that good stuff, you know, so you can see when my next videos or my next streams come out. And as always, have a great day and a great night or whatever. And I'm bad at outros. I'll eventually get there. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.